Good morning, students. Today we are going to start term 2. Chapter is ecosystem. So, in chapter ecosystem, first of all, we need to know what is ecosystem. Ecosystem is an area which comprises both living and non living together, right? So, that area forms an ecosystem. For example, a pond. In a pond, water is there, air surround water. This forms a non-living component. And in water, we have animals, aquatic plants are there, aquatic animals are there, right? That forms living component. Here you can see. So, ecosystem can be defined as a self-contained unit that consists of all living and non-living things in a particular area and their interaction with each other. It means those living and non-living, they depend upon each other. There is an interaction between them. So, we have an example. Pond is the example. Forest is an example of ecosystem. Grassland. Ecosystem can be natural or artificial. Artificial means man-made, created by man. So, a pond is a natural ecosystem while aquarium is a man-made ecosystem. What is aquarium? You have seen somewhere water tank is there when you keep fishes in it. So that forms an aquarium. You need to create almost natural environment for the fishes. Okay, then next there are different types of ecosystem. First we have terrestrial ecosystem that comprises of forest, deserts, grasslands. Aquatic ecosystem includes water bodies. It can be pond, it can be sea, river, all they form aquatic ecosystem. In aquatic ecosystem, we have further two types which depend upon the type of water. First is freshwater ecosystem, second is marine ecosystem. Okay, what is marine ecosystem? The salty water which is present in ocean, right? That is known as marine ecosystem. And fresh water, the water that we can drink, which is sweet in taste, that forms freshwater ecosystem. So here we have an example, pond, river, these are all freshwater ecosystem and they are the smallest ecosystems. And if we talk about marine ecosystem, they include shallow water, deep water, warm water like Pacific Ocean and cold water. So here we are talking about seas, oceans. So there are broadly two components of an ecosystem. Now we will discuss the components of ecosystem. As in the beginning I told you, ecosystem comprises of living and non-living component together in an area. Now we will read living component and non-living component further. And let's start with biotic component. Biotic component means living component, comprises of living organism. So it is known as biotic component. Let's read it. All living organisms present in an ecosystem are termed as biotic component. Here the word bio means life, living. So depending on the level and mode of nutrition, there are further classified as producer, consumer, decomposer and scavengers. अच्छा, अभी ये फर्दर हमारे पास जो डिफरेंट इसकी टाइप्स हैं ये किस बेसिस पे हैं? इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन देयर लेवल एंड देयर मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन, हाउ दे हैव देयर फूड, न्यूट्रिशन कैसे ले रहे हैं वो. फर्स्टली वी हैव प्रोड्यूसर्स. Producers are actually plants which can make their own food. In previous classes, you people have read about photosynthesis. Who can do photosynthesis? Only green plants can do photosynthesis. They can produce their own food, right? There is a term for the organism which can make their own food. We have autotroph, or nutrition is autotrophic mode of nutrition. So here in producer we are talking about autotrophs. Let's read it. In an ecosystem, producers are those living organisms which are capable of synthesizing their own food from inorganic compounds. They can produce their own food from inorganic compounds. So, producers are generally green plants. So, they are therefore called autotroph. That means they can make their own food, they can nourish themselves. They don't have to depend upon other organisms for their food. Green plants, what they have? They have a special green pigment called chlorophyll, which is able to trap sun energy, and they perform photosynthesis. So, food thus produced is used by the entire biotic world directly or indirectly. So, whatever food is produced by plant, every living organism depend upon that food, either directly or indirectly. We'll discuss this thing further. Second, we have consumers. Consumers, they cannot make their own food. They have to depend upon producers. So they are heterotroph. So let's read here. Consumers are heterotroph. That means hetero means different, troph means who nourishes. So they use different sources for their nourishment. They themselves cannot make their own food. So consumers are heterotroph of the ecosystem. They cannot prepare their own food. Thus, they feed on other living organisms like on plants and on animals. So such organisms, they are known as consumers. Further, on the different feeding habits of consumers, we can give different types of consumers. We can differentiate consumers. Here we have different categories. First we have primary consumer, then we have secondary consumer and tertiary consumer. All these three type of consumers, they are different from each other as their eating habits, those are different. Let's read primary consumer first of all. Primary consumers, these consumers depend directly on plants for food. They are called herbivores. The organism which eat only plants, those are primary consumer, or commonly they are known as herbivores, plant eating animals. So you have example here, cows, deer, goat, rabbit, all these are herbivorous animal. Second, we have secondary consumer. Secondary consumer, so these organisms depend indirectly on plants as they consume herbivores. So what they are eating? They are not eating plants directly. They are eating the animals which are consuming plants. So they feed on herbivores. So they consist of, so commonly they are known as carnivores, flesh eating animals. I think this is clear. Secondary consumers, they feed on primary consumer, right? They feed on herbivores, and they are known as carnivores because they are eating animals. We have example lion, tiger, fox, many more are there. Third category, we have tertiary consumers. So they are also indirectly dependent on plant. So they are also eating animals. It means they consume the flesh of carnivores. So they are not eating herbivores, they are eating carnivores. Thus they receive energy at the third step. Okay, what is this third step of energy? Producers are producing the food. There is energy stored inside the food. When it is eaten by herbivores, that energy enters into the body of herbivores. When that herbivore is eaten by some carnivores or secondary consumer, energy enters into secondary consumer. And at third level, when a secondary consumer is eaten by tertiary consumer, that is the third level of energy, right? As we are moving from producers to tertiary consumer, the level of energy or the amount of energy, it decreases. We'll discuss this thing in further. Tertiary consumers, so they indirectly depend on plants and they consume secondary consumer and they receive energy at the third step. I'll discuss that further. For example, hawk feeds on a snake, which in turn feeds on a rat. You can see here in the picture. Primary consumer. Rat is there. It is feeding on grain. This rat is eaten by snake. This is the secondary consumer. Then this snake will be eaten by a hawk. So hawk here is tertiary consumer, right? Next we have, apart from the above categories of consumer, there are omnivores and scavengers. So let's read the definition of omnivores. Omnivores are such organisms which feed on both plants and animals, like human being, right? Scavengers they feed on dead remains of animals. You can say, so scavengers are such organisms which feed on or which eat dead bodies, dead animals. Those are known as scavengers. Example is given here: bear and human, these are omnivores, and vultures and hyenas, they are scavengers. Next we have decomposers. Decomposers are actually microorganisms, and what they do, they help in the decomposition of dead organic matter. Let's read here. Decomposers are also known as saprophyte, and such organisms, they feed on dead decaying organic matter and decompose them into simpler compounds. This in simple example, like कुछ पत्ते जैसे गिर जाते हैं पेड़ के, इकट्ठे करते जाओ, कुछ दिनों के बाद वो गल सड़ जाते हैं, देन आफ्टर इट टर्न्स इनटू सॉइल, वो मिट्टी में चेंज हो जाते हैं. ये सारी प्रोसेस कौन कर रहा है? कौन उन पत्तों को मिट्टी में चेंज कर रहा है? डिकम्पोज़र. ये काम है डिकम्पोज़र का. सिंपल. सो दीज कंपाउंड्स आर देन यूटिलाइज्ड बाय द प्रोड्यूसर इन द सिंथेसिस ऑफ फूड. तो जो भी डिकम्पोज़र्स क्या कर रहे हैं, डेड डिकेइंग ऑर्गेनिक मैटर को सिंपल कंपोनेंट में चेंज कर रहे हैं, सॉइल में ऐड कर रहे हैं. एक्चुअली व्हाट दे आर डूइंग, वो सॉइल में न्यूट्रिएंट्स को ऐड कर रहे हैं, एंड दोज न्यूट्रिएंट्स दीज आर एब्जॉर्ब्ड बाय और यूज्ड बाय द प्रोड्यूसर्स, right? So thus producers are responsible for recycling nutrient and help in cleaning up the environment in the process. Example, bacteria and fungi, these are decomposers. So the main work of decomposer is to clean our environment, right? Here you can see, so this is the different levels. So producers, they are making the food, which is, these producers are eaten by primary consumer, energy moves into primary consumer, but not whole of the energy of producer moves into primary consumer. Some of the energy is used by its own body for different processes, and the stored or remaining energy is transferred to primary consumer. Okay, that energy will be used by primary consumer for different activities, and the remaining energy will be going to secondary consumer. Same will happen here. It will use some of the energy for its activities, and the remaining rest of the energy will be moved to tertiary consumer, right? Further we will get a topic, there is pyramids of energy. We'll discuss this thing in detail there.